On the Navy Yard shooting, take a listen to this first-hand account from a survivor of the shooting rampage.
One of the folks in my office locked the exterior doors, and then everyone went either into the interior offices and locked themselves in or into the conference room with us. And we locked the door, we barricaded it, and then we went to the ground.
Can you imagine being in that situation? Forensic psychologist Dr. Daniela Schreier is here with us this morning. The Tribune headline, Navy Yard suspect had pattern of misconduct. We're learning more and more about what this guy was about in his history, and there were certainly some signs, right?
Absolutely. Good morning, Corey. Thanks for having me. As usual, there were signs. He's very different from the Colorado shooter or the Sandy Hook shooter, as a matter of fact. Both of them were in their early 20s, and they didn't have prior criminal histories. He had several brushes with the law, as a matter of fact. He had a dishonorable discharge from the Navy Reserve, and we know that there was a pattern. He had brushes with the police. Twice, actually, he was kind of taken in. He had used his guns very carelessly. At one point, he shot through the roof, we have heard. He kind of really bullied a neighbor of his before. And then once he was angry and violent kind of at construction workers because it was difficult to park, and he would have shot back then, too.
Right. Now, he said in many of the instances the information's come out, he always had an excuse ready as to what happened. He blacked out or something of that nature, right?
Very typical. Yeah. Interesting, too. He was not really very much in touch with the family, but his dad came forward, that's what the press said, and said, well, he was helping at 9/11, and this is why he would have PTSD. Let us say this. We had many helpers at 9/11, and that's not a typical pattern of PTSD. As a matter of fact, it seems a history of anger and acting out and kind of, you're making me angry and I'm showing you.
Well, I guess right now we don't know the motive just yet. We can speculate a little bit. Does this look to you as if it might ultimately turn out to be a workplace violence sort of situation?
Well, I think there's one important thing. Yes, we have an increase in workplace violence. People are more stressed. There are money issues, and then people act out. But I do not think that it is necessarily related to workplace violence, because the guy acted out before on the outside when he didn't like people that kind of were in his way. So I think someone must have rubbed him wrong. There might be one particular target, because before he was not randomly acting out. He acted out towards people who he thought had kind of attacked him. And I want to step back for 1 second. We have to remember, let's remember what President Reagan said once, because we hear all these reports. Whenever someone breaks the law, we have to reject the notion that it's society's fault. Every individual has responsibility for his actions, and the actions actually fall back on him.
Got it. Dr. Daniela, thank you very much for your insights. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks.
All right, good to see you again. Darlene.